Sasha Banks and Bayley show up on Smackdown Live, finally, with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships to wrestle the Iconics and lose. Also, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch brawl it out on the Kevin Owens show weeks before WrestleMania, and a lame gauntlet match that seen Kofi Kingston denied WrestleMania 35. All this plus so much more on Smackdown Live.
Delete this man.
Alive with it. People still did. Man, if there's one thing I hate about being a WWE fan, it's the simple fact that every single time we watch this product on a weekly basis, we have our intelligence insulted. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Kofi Kingston. I think that what he has done in the last month and a half has been fantastic and great for him. He deserves it after 11 years. But watching this all unfold and what they did tonight, actually, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I swear to fucking Christ, I mean every word that I'm about to say to you guys right here on this review. If Kofi Kingston ended up winning this gauntlet match tonight, WWE would have had an adverse effect on me. If Kofi won the way that we all expected him to win tonight, without this swerve, I was actually more in the realm of wanting Daniel Bryan to win and beat Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania. WWE was putting out a product tonight that made me willingly wish for Daniel Bryan to beat Kofi Kingston at WrestleMania, because everything that we seen tonight in the gauntlet match was unbelievable and too far-fetched. And we're going to go over all that today in this podcast for SmackDown Live. I don't know how you guys enjoyed it, but I don't like to have my intelligence insulted. The way that they lined this gauntlet match up, Samoa Joe, I was done after that. And then the way Randy Orton lost, ridiculous. And then by the end of this thing, WWE wasted all of our times. And they wasted the time of everybody that laid down for Kofi Kingston tonight, which nobody really seems to find an issue with. Oh, why don't you just enjoy it for what it is? Excuse me, man, I don't like my champions losing on regular television. We'll go over it tonight on SmackDown Live, man. I don't really understand WWE's logic behind all of this. I feel like at the end of the day with this gauntlet match, they were trying, and I know I mentioned this, man. I knew what the right decision was at the time it needed to be done. The Elimination Chamber was the day and the time and the place for this man to win the WWE Championship. What did WWE do? They took it and they just ran with it, and they fucked it up as usual with everything else. And I'm going to go over that exact point once we get to this gauntlet match. I don't want to dive too much into it here and give away everything already because I'm fuming. For SmackDown Live, I expected one of the best shows of the year. And what we got was logic hole here, logic gap there, logic hole and logic gap over here and over there. I don't understand WWE, man. This is WrestleMania season, and it's as if they're not using their fucking brains. So we'll talk about that all right here on the podcast, man. If you missed anything that I uploaded, especially today, off the script this past weekend, we talked about WWE and their lies exposed about the WrestleMania attendance. Final plans for Dean Ambrose as well. That was Monday's episode, or Sunday, quote unquote. WWE voted the worst wrestling promotion in 2018. Eminem seeking legal action against WWE. That was Friday's. I actually uploaded an off-the-script extra today as well, man. WrestleMania 35 going to be 8 hours long and 17 matches deep. Are you fucking kidding me? So I go over that in a nice off-the-script 40-minute extra rant for you guys, man. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Plus, the rant on Kurt Angle's WrestleMania opponent and Baron Corbin, the man who should not be in that position. Chicago was chanting for John Cena of all fucking people. Yes, I know. I agree with Chicago. As expected, Kurt Angle chooses a terrible WrestleMania opponent. Click the eye that you see in the top right corner. Drop it down. Everything that you missed or want to watch again will be right there for you. And if you missed it, make sure you guys go and catch up on all that and hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys are following me on social media at JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. It's both the same thing. Make sure you guys are following me on Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications as well. Don't really know what's going on with YouTube. YouTube seems to be acting a little funny the last couple of weeks, man. It just feels very lethargic on the platform, and I don't know why. Follow me on Twitch, man. JD from New York. If you guys are into the video game deal. And if you guys want to support on Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on the Patreon. Bonfire. You guys know the deal with this. Bonfire.com. Link is down at the very top of the description below. The exclusive home of JD's Elite. Bonfire.com. Off the script merchandise. Only place you could get this shirt right now is on Bonfire. Like I said, link is down in the description of this very video. And I hope to see you guys wearing this shirt at the meet and greet. Hooters, man. 155 West 33rd Street, New York City. Just a couple of weeks away, man. Come hang out before NXT TakeOver New York, where we are guaranteed a new NXT champion. Right across from MSG, 1 to 4 p.m., April 5th, Friday. Make sure you guys come on out, man. We got 50 RSVP'd already as confirmed, and another 40 that you guys are contemplating, thinking, interested in coming. So that is a great turnout nonetheless, man. I hope to see all of you guys there at Hooters, 155 West 33rd Street. RSVP to the official event page down below in the comments. I want to make sure I have a good head count so that I could give the Hooters management a heads up, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support right here on Off the Script. Let's get into the SmackDown Live review. SmackDown Live opened up with what I thought was going to be the Gauntlet match, and we didn't get the Gauntlet match. More WWE bullshit on social media. I was excited to watch this show. I was planted on my couch. We're going to find out what the WWE title match is right out of the gate for WrestleMania 35. And out comes The Miz. And I'm watching a video package of Shane McMahon, and then The Miz is in the ring. And I'm asking myself, where's Kofi? Where's Kofi? So right out of the gate, WWE pissed me off with this episode. Miz comes on out. We see a video package of what Shane McMahon did and said at Fastlane and SmackDown Live, respectively. Shane McMahon challenged. Let me repeat this slowly. Shane McMahon challenged The Miz at WrestleMania. It should have been the other way around. I don't know why The Miz is not challenging Shane McMahon to a fight at WrestleMania after what he did at Fastlane to him and his father. I guess that was one of those little things that WWE overlooked or didn't matter to the live audience. Miz is in the ring. He said for 10 plus years, he's been laser focused on the road. And this is the road to WrestleMania. But at what cost? Says he has taken shortcuts and taken advantage of people and taken undeserved opportunities. He said other than his wife and his daughter, Monroe Sky, he has sacrificed every single relationship he has had in this business. He said his friendship with Shane meant so much to him. So, at this point, I'm like, okay. I'm going to listen to what you have to say, but at the end of this thing, I'm not really going to like the overall vibe of a babyface Miz promo. So, fans were chanting Miz. They were chanting for the Miz's name. He thanked the live audience. Said it was all to make one man proud of him. And he said when his dad stood in the ring, it was the first time he has ever said to him, I love you, son. That was the first time he's ever said that to his son, Miz's dad. He also said, I am proud of you. Another thing that the Miz was not too familiar with being, young, growing up, something that was familiar to him being heard from the Miz. He said it meant so much to him, and Shane made it happen for him. He said people actually told him to watch his back for Shane McMahon, or regarding Shane McMahon's relationship with him, watch your back. So they warned me, he says, they warned the Miz. So I'm guessing that he was surprised that everybody was telling him to watch out for Shane. Meanwhile, Miz had the reputation of what Shane McMahon did to him. So it was role reversed, is what the Miz was trying to portray here. They warned me about Shane, he says. They said behind the scenes, he's a little different. I didn't believe them. It's Shane McMahon. Then he said Shane attacked him from behind in front of his 68-year-old father. He said his dad watched as Shane decimated him. He asked what kind of human being would do that. Easy, a McMahon. They did it to everybody, Mr. Miz. Don't worry about it. It is something that will be ingrained in his mind for the rest of his life, says the Miz. He said Shane is vile and disgusting and rotten to the core, just like your father, a.k.a. Vince McMahon. He said he wasn't born the best in the world. You are a McMahon. You were born the worst. Then he goes on to say that, listen, your family might own the company, but the McMahons don't own me. Really now. Mike Mizanin just signed a 5-year WWE extension. They own you, bro. They own you and your soul. So there you go. And you sure as hell don't own Kofi. I don't know what the fuck that had to do with the entire situation with Shane McMahon, but there's one plug for Kofi Kingston, which I will touch upon when we talk about Kofi's ride into WrestleMania that was derailed. No reason for The Miz to be mentioning Kofi Kingston here. It has nothing to do with the attack on Miz and his father. So fans began chanting, Kofi, Kofi. Great. Has nothing to do with Kofi, yet we're chanting his name. He said he wasn't born rich or born of privilege. He said he was born destined to flip burgers. Extra cheese on mine with a side of barbecue sauce, please, Mr. Mizanin. He said people told him he was average, but he didn't make that self-fulfilling prophecy. Said he proved everyone wrong by finding his way through, quote-unquote, the real world, and he became a champion and the most must-see WWE superstar of all time. He said he did it on his own. He did admit he stabbed everyone in the back on his way. He says, you can't think what you want about him, but no one questions his work ethic. Or you can think about, how you want of The Miz, but you can't question his work ethic. I've always prided myself on working harder than everyone else because I've always believed hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough. I am a proven success story, and that is something to be proud of. He said his dad didn't give him love. He had to earn it. He said the fans didn't respect him. He had to earn it. He says as he stands there now, he feels he has earned the fans' respect. So we got a chant of Miz mixed with you deserve it. I think some of the fans are still hesitant to chant for the Miz at this point, and I really don't understand how we can really get behind the Miz. There was so much damage done as far as a heel goes that no matter what they do, even if they incorporate the Miz's real-life father into this situation, there's been so much shit that the Miz has done over the course of 10 years that this little 1 to 2 week thing where he's playing the babyface and really amping it up about how his father never told him that he loved him or he had to earn his father's respect and all this bullshit, even with the beatdown, which was very well done. And the fact that Shane got in front of the Miz's dad and shoved him down to the fucking ground. All this is not going to be enough for me to cheer babyface Miz. Because what I'm hearing right now as far as, I took undeserved opportunities, I stabbed people in the back, it all sounds and rings hollow. Yeah, you did that, but how regretful and how remorseful and how sorry are you really for those actions to get where you are today? Because if you didn't do those things, you wouldn't be standing here right now in a marquee match with Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. So, I don't really understand WWE's logic here as far as, well, you should be cheering The Miz because Shane McMahon did this. I don't get it. And I'm not on board. I am not on board. The Miz is a great promo. It doesn't matter what he is. The Miz is a great promo. But The Miz in a babyface role sounds forced. And I'm being completely honest with you. I look at certain people who I see nothing more than a babyface. I don't see them going any other direction in their career. I look at some people the same way in the heel role. You look at a heel, he is destined to be a heel for the rest of his life. The Miz is destined to be a heel for the rest of his fucking life. And everything that this man says, again, it rings hollow. There's nothing underneath there. There's no substance. It's just words. I can't believe what The Miz is saying to me right now because of how many years he's been against what he's talking about. Maybe I'm just fucking bitching and moaning. Why don't you just enjoy the fucking storyline for what it is, asshole? Yeah, I know. But if I am not going to say it, then who the fuck is? How many of you are on babyface Miz's side? Probably none of you. How many of you agree with me that The Miz is portrayed better as a heel? All of you. All of you understand that, and all of you know that. So what am I telling you that's not the truth? And what am I telling you that you don't understand? I guarantee you The Miz would rather be a babyface as well. This might be a new challenge for him. This might be something that he is willingly doing, and maybe it's an idea of his own, maybe to challenge himself. And I could certainly understand where The Miz is coming from, you know, where he had to go out there and do it on his own. People thinking that you're average. I understand that 100%. People think I'm average. People thought I was average. Now people look at me in a different light for whatever fucking reason. I'm just a normal guy just like you are. Watching me. People thinking that he's average. I thought I was destined to sell fucking watches and jewelry for the rest of my fucking life while I struggled to fucking hopefully have a family one day, you know? Whereas he says he was destined to flip burgers, had to find his way through and prove everybody wrong. There's no greater feeling than proving everybody wrong. I understand that aspect of it. I understand the real life aspect of what he's trying to say, but when he starts dealing in the, oh, I took undeserved shots and opportunities and I stabbed people in the back, how remorseful and regretful are you of those situations? Probably zero. So, he continues on as he's standing there. I think some of the fans right now still are hesitant, but he goes on to say, you're damn right, I do, after a you deserve it chant. He said in the response of the you deserve it chant, Miz and Shane deserves the ass kicking or ass whipping that he's going to give him at WrestleMania, and then he dropped the mic and left the ring. So as far as the you deserve it chants, he followed that up by saying Shane deserves the ass kicking that he's going to get at WrestleMania. There you go. You know, I don't really know what to think about this except, you know, or on top of what I've already stated to you guys. I feel like if we seen months and months and months of him trying to get back into the good graces of the fucking fans as a babyface, it would be a little bit more easier to digest babyface Miz. But you're trying to tell me this story with a couple of weeks till WrestleMania. I'm not going to believe a babyface Miz. And more importantly, I'm not going to get behind in support of a babyface Miz. Right now, where I'm leaning towards this match, as far as investment, is Shane McMahon. Because I believe in Shane McMahon being a dastardly prick, whereas I don't believe in The Miz being a babyface goody two-shoes, I deserve it and I work my ass off and now please respect me. No, I'm not going that route. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving on from there. Sasha Banks and Bayley finally make their appearance on SmackDown Live. Now, they made their entrance. They didn't have a microphone or anything. They just had a theme music play. We had Sasha and Bayley's theme music play. They make their way down the ramp and they get into the ring. Now, I thought that this was an advertised appearance as far as them just showing up and talking about them being on SmackDown Live. Now, none of us knew that they were actually wrestling on SmackDown Live, and here we are with a non-title women's tag team title match. So, Out comes the Iconics, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. They said Sasha Banks and Bayley look scared and strange and small, like their parents bought their way into an Ivy League school they couldn't get into. Ha 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 ha, I'm not laughing. Now, I don't know where that came from or what the fuck that even meant, but it's the Iconics, so whatever they say is irrelevant to me anyway. They said they went back to NXT to try to make themselves feel important. No, they went back to NXT because it's the best show in the WWE. I'm sorry, Peyton Royce. Maybe you should actually take a page out of the Boston Hug Connections book and go back down to the Performance Center and maybe brush up on your wrestling skills and take Billie Kay with you. So they went back down to NXT to make themselves feel important. They got chased off on their own turf on Raw. And now they have no choice but to face the best team in the WWE, the Iconics, in unfamiliar territory. Doesn't matter what territory they're in, it's Sasha Banks and Bayley. I'm sure they'll adjust just fine. So, we get the match underway. Tag team match is happening. Non-title. Lacey Evans walks out during the match and distracts not just Sasha or Bayley, but all 4 of the women in the ring. Really. Lacey Evans distracts everyone in the ring for absolutely no reason. I went on a fucking rant about how I hate shit like that. It makes everyone look stupid. Stupid. They did it on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. Brock Lesnar. You think Seth Rollins would know Brock Lesnar's not really going to get his hands dirty unless he legitimately has to? Lesnar shows up on the stage. He doesn't come, I guess, within 500 feet of the fucking ring. Rollins hears his music go off, and he just, in that moment, forgot, shit, I'm in the ring with Drew McIntyre. I could get Claymored any second here. Turns his back on Drew McIntyre and loses the fucking match. Dumb babyface syndrome. You look at the guy up the ramp, the fuck does he have to do with the guy in the ring? And why did you forget that you're actually wrestling in that moment just to look at the guy and spew a few words at him? Do you know how ridiculous that looks? And I went on and on and on about how if you're a wrestling promotion / promoter and you book your babyface to look that way, then maybe you should be revoked of a fucking wrestling license. And maybe you shouldn't be running a company. It's ridiculous. Just like this is ridiculous. What the fuck does, especially Sasha Banks and Bayley, what the fuck do they have to do with Lacey Evans where they're going to turn around and be like, do you mind? Get out of here? Who gives a shit? You're the tag team champions of WWE. It doesn't matter what the fuck is going on. Lacey Evans is an unimportant factor. She's irrelevant. And then you got Peyton Royce and Billie Kay looking down the aisle as well, as if it's like fucking, I don't know, the Pope just fucking came into the arena and wanted to bless everybody. Who gives a shit? And what is the deal with Lacey Evans? When are we going to see this woman in the fucking ring? This is now expanded past 2 months of vignettes and fucking just her walking down the aisle, wasting television time. I want them to take all the television time that they wasted putting Lacey Evans in these fucking meaningless skits, interrupting this and interrupting that, combined all that wasted minute up and throw it onto a show. And that could be a legitimate match for the 2 months that this has been happening. I don't get it. And then people on social media are begging for WWE to give this woman a championship just for walking down the aisle. I don't understand the logic of the community. First it was Asuka, now they want her to win the Battle Royal, which I wouldn't be surprised if she did win the Battle Royal. But what would come of winning the Battle Royal? Naomi won the Battle Royal, and that didn't happen. You know, that didn't do anything for Naomi's career. In fact, it made her career worse. Let's get this woman in the ring. If not, I don't care. And at this point, I don't even think you could get me to care because you wasted too much time. If I could see 2 or 3 weeks of this, fine. But this is 2 months now, and nothing has accumulated. Nothing that she's done has led to anything. What is she doing? What is she doing? Get this woman in the ring and show me that she could fucking wrestle. We know she has the look. let me now critique her on one of the more important aspects to her act. If she can't wrestle, I don't really give a shit about anything Lacey Evans does. Moving on. That wasn't even the worst of it. Sasha Banks and Bayley lose. They lose to the Iconics. So we get Kay grabbing Sasha's leg to slow her down. Bayley charged at ringside on the outside. Kay gave her a big boot. Then Peyton Royce rolled up a distracted Sasha. I guess she turned her back on an opponent. I guess it's okay, right? And I gotta hear all the fucking Iconics fans, oh, they beat the tag team champions, right? But this is WWE with another one of these fucking stupid, idiotic, creative decisions. You had the Iconics beat the women's tag team champions. Women's tag team champions, by the way, that have not lost since they won the titles. I guess it was overdue. But I don't understand the logic of another champion or champions losing on television to get the challengers into the title mix. Is there not another way to get this done? I don't understand, A, why this match needed to happen, B, why you needed the champions to lose here, and C, why you couldn't devise a plan to get what was a predictable Iconics team in the tag team title mix anyway in the match without having them to beat the fucking champions. It is not even the fact that I hate the Iconics. I think they are fucking garbage upon garbage. They are absolutely god-awful for all the wrong reasons. And it's not even the fact that they beat the champions. It's the simple fact that you could have inserted anybody in Sasha and Bayley's position, and they shouldn't have lost. They should not have lost. Champions should be heralded as the most important characters on your fucking television show. Champions should not be losing unless it's at a pay-per-view or the culmination of a title match on a Raw or a SmackDown. I don't understand why champions are showcased as afterthoughts and they are just like everybody else. Nothing. The championships mean nothing. This is how you devalue championships. By showcasing the champions on TV and having them lose meaningless matches. There was no way for the Iconics to get into WrestleMania. They had a gripe with management for weeks now. They could have lobbied, hey, they haven't showed up on our brand. They got these other teams on Monday Night Raw in the mix. Why don't we go to the McMahons and lobby for a fatal four-way? That is all you needed to do. Did we really need to see Sasha Banks pinned by Peyton fucking Royce in a non-title match? Or am I losing my fucking mind here? Or am I too picky? One or the other. I mean, would you book a wrestling promotion where your champion loses in a non-title television match weeks before WrestleMania? Fucking ridiculous. And, again, another babyface turning their back on fucking bullshit. First it was Rollins. Then it was Sasha Banks. Give me a fucking break. Kayla Braxton. She's backstage. And she is with Rey Mysterio. Kayla Braxton recapped what happened. And I'm guessing she recapped Rey Mysterio pinning Samoa Joe the last week. So she introduced Rey Mysterio. He was there for an interview. Rey brought in his son Dominic, who is towering above Rey. You know, I want to say that. I don't even think it's his fucking son. Because his son is absolutely a fucking giant compared to his father, man. So Rey announced that he would be facing Samoa Joe for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. He said he hadn't told his son this news yet. Dominic came in, he smiled, he said, Joe is a bully, and he'll be sitting front row seeing his father take care of another bully and bringing home another championship title. Now, I don't understand WWE's logic behind this WrestleMania card. First, it was Baron Corbin being announced as Kurt Angle's retirement opponent at Mania, which I'm going to reserve judgment on. We talked about it on Monday Night Raw. The problem I had with that announcement and that segment was the fact that you sucked the whole fucking wind out of the crowd for the rest of the show. It ruined not only the rest of the show, but what could have been a damn good match between Gable and Kurt Angle. And the overall fucking just feel of it, you announced Baron Corbin. The whole announcement of Kurt was to make it special. and you killed it. Instead of it being someone that we legitimately get excited about, you gave us Baron fucking Corbin. And then people are arguing. This is another thing. I see people going back and forth on social media about Baron Corbin. Oh, he's got go-away heat. This isn't real heel heat. Listen, Baron Corbin is a great fucking heel. He's a great heel. But Baron Corbin absolutely has go-away heat. Now, the people who don't believe in go-away heat, they are the ones to chime in and say, well, if he had go-away heat, then the fans would get up and go to the concession stands, or the fans would get up and go to the bathroom, or you wouldn't make a reaction at all. Now, realistically, you got to sit down and think logically, who the fuck is going to do that? Nobody. Nobody. Go-away heat exists. You got to listen for it. You got to listen for it. It's like you're in the forest and you're fucking hunting, right? You got to listen. You got to listen for the deer about to make his move, and then you take that perfect shot. You got to listen for the go-away heat. It's there. You might not hear it initially, but it's there. It's the tone of people and the reaction that they give that you got to pay attention to. Go-away heat absolutely exists. That announcement ruined the whole fucking show. On top of what is normally a terrible show. Nobody wants Corbin. Nobody. He's fucking terrible. The character, what the fuck is Baron Corbin? Who is he? Why is he still dressing from Men's Warehouse? The whole announcement was the thing. That was the whole thing. And they wasted it on Baron Corbin. Now again, I'm going to reserve judgment on it. I'm going to reserve judgment on it and see if we do get the match that the fans want. Because they chimed in with, oh, the fans are reacting on social media negatively. They are, just blasting Baron Corbin on social media. The fans are displeased. So obviously it's got to be leading to something. But I don't know why you would have wasted that reaction and that moment for Baron Corbin. Ultimately take him out of the match and do nothing with him. Just like they did here. Rey Mysterio announces Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Okay, where the fuck is Almas gonna be? Why isn't Almas involved in this? You got two other guys in this entire U.S. title ordeal. What the fuck are they doing at WrestleMania? And why don't they deserve the U.S. title match? I'm not for multi-man mania, but I'm for a multi-man match that fucking makes sense if you've been giving it to me for the last 3 weeks on fucking television. Now, if Almas is in the Battle Royal, I'm going to be pissed. Now, we got 2 weeks left of WrestleMania. If Almas is not added to this match in a triple threat capacity, I am going to be legitimately pissed. What the fuck has that man done to not deserve a WrestleMania match? I don't understand it. From the beginning of the year, we were talking about Rey and Almas for the United States Championship. Now we got Rey and Joe. I love Joe just as much as everybody else does. But I don't think Rey and Joe is the ideal match for WrestleMania. It feels like a television match, to be quite honest with you. And that's the way that they've presented and portrayed Rey Mysterio. Now, if you add Almas to that, I feel like it's amped up a bit. That and what those guys have done is WrestleMania worthy. I just don't find Rey Mysterio to be a believable opponent for Samoa Joe. I don't. I didn't find the pinfall on Joe last week to be believable, and I don't find this to be believable. You got to add Almas to round out this entire thing. I don't believe in multi-man matches up and down the card for WrestleMania, but this one is the one that makes the most sense. If you want to add R-Truth and Rusev and Nakamura, make it a fucking ladder match. Make it a ladder match. Put a spotlight on the U.S. title that hasn't been for fucking years since John Cena and the Open Challenge initially. You got to do something, man. You cannot put Almas in the fucking Battle Royal. You can't. You can't. So it's going to be Joe and Mysterio at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. We got Kevin Owens in the ring. A new and improved Kevin Owens show. Everybody's got a fucking show on this show. They got the Miz TV. You got Kevin Owens show. You got whoever else. Edge TV. Whatever the fuck. They want to bring these fucking talk shows back just to fill space. This was not even needed. I would have been perfectly okay without a week of Becky and Charlotte. Really. I don't understand why this was even necessary. They did nothing. They didn't progress to get my interest moving up. In fact, it just had me asking questions. That's all it did. Kevin Owens sat in the ring. He said he's got new signage, dressed up in his new t-shirt, Got a red tie on. So every year he calls WrestleMania KO Mania, but this year there is no denying it's all about Kofi Kingston. There's another cheap plug for Kofi Kingston, which I'll talk about when we get to Kofi Kingston. So they will find out tonight if he can run the gauntlet and go on to WrestleMania. Again, what the fuck does this have to do with the guests that are scheduled for your show? Save it! Because you're pissing me off at this point. Now, he says he will be watching closely. That I can understand. That's all you have to say. WWE Championship situation tonight's going to be, figured out. I'm going to be watching closely because I am going to be vying for that title sooner rather than later. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. So another match stands out at WrestleMania because it featured the hottest rivalry in WWE today. He introduced Becky Lynch. Becky came out to cheers and some Becky chants. KO said, "Hey, they like you." She smiled, and then Charlotte comes on out. So Becky and Charlotte sat on the opposite side of the table here mid-ring. Had a big table. Kevin Owens sat in the middle. It was Becky on the right, Charlotte on the left. Kevin Owens says he knows as well as anyone that sometimes friends can get under each other's skin. Right then and there, probably a nice little jab at Chris Jericho. Or Sami Zayn, maybe. I don't know. One or the other. Either one of those fits into that equation. Kevin Owens says that he had some note cards to remind them of what they've been saying about each other. So he began with the inflammatory Ronda Rousey quotes. He said people don't want to see them talk anymore. They want to see them, at this point, just fight. They stood up and approached each other. Charlotte says that she would beat the holy hell out of Becky. Kevin Owens stepped out of the ring at this point and then told Becky to respond. Becky punched Charlotte. Charlotte tackled Becky over the table and they tumbled to the mat. Becky tried to lift and slam Charlotte, but Charlotte got the better of her in this exchange. Becky then rolled on top and pounded away at Charlotte. Charlotte rolled to the floor and then ran Becky into the ring apron and then into the barricade on the outside. Becky fought back and they brawled some more. Referees, security came down to try and separate them as fans were chanting, "Let them fight." So Becky is doing this and Charlotte's going at it. Graves says on commentary, there will be massive fines and perhaps the WrestleMania match is in jeopardy. And then they finally got things under control. Now, I don't know what the outcome is going to be here at WrestleMania. The outcome should be either Becky pinning or tapping out Ronda Rousey. I don't care. You got to have the payoff. You can't go into this having Becky pin Charlotte or tap out Charlotte for the Women's Championship. You can't do that unless Becky is going to get a match with Ronda one-on-one at the next pay-per-view and then Ronda goes away. That I would be okay with. Now, if they want Becky to win the title here, pin Charlotte, and then have Ronda to herself at the following pay-per-view, I would be perfectly okay with that, and then you get the submission there. But if not, Becky has to submit or pin Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Now, I don't know what they're doing here, but Kevin Owens didn't add any legitimacy to this. We didn't need Kevin Owens insinuating a fight. Now, we need to see them fight, but I've honestly seen this over and over and over again to a point where it didn't really get a reaction out of me between Becky and Charlotte. Now, all eyes are on Ronda Rousey right now, and the fact that she's turned into a nasty bitch. And now that she's got Travis Brown with her, I think that's what people are more interested in, what Ronda Rousey's going to do and say next. Now, this has been all over the fucking place. One week it's Becky. Charlotte's been a non-factor in this entire thing. She's a proverbial third wheel through and through here. One week it's Becky, one week it's Ronda. One week it's Becky, one week it's Ronda. One week it's both of them. The next week it goes back to individual. And what happened to the crutch? The woman was on a fucking crutch for a month and a half. Then she shows up at a house show and gets rid of the crutch, comes out on Monday Night Raw without the crutch and limps, and now no-sells the fucking knee injury. Man, what a fucking doctor Becky Lynch has, huh? Why was it even needed? Why go through all this silly garbage to showcase a knee injury and then miraculously 20 days before WrestleMania, yep, it's gone. It's gone. I went to the priest and he gave me one of these deals and splashed some holy water on it. I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Don't understand it. Don't really understand it. Anyway, it didn't do anything to get me excited. I'm telling you, all they needed to do was give me some verbal back and forth, They didn't really do anything here as far as verbal back and forth to get me interested. It seemed like it was a complete waste of a segment just to get them on the bill for the SmackDown Live episode tonight. And all we need to see is a contract signing. This is all unnecessary. This is all unnecessary. Save this for the contract signing. And I mentioned this. All you need is a UFC contract signing or a UFC style contract signing to get all your fucking just animosity and whatever else you got to say out. Then, why do we need this? Why do we need this garbage? Don't understand it. Anyway, moving on here. Kayla, busy woman on SmackDown Live. She acknowledged what happened with Becky and Charlotte. Then in comes AJ Styles for an interview. Styles and Orton is great. With the agility of a man half his size. Said the difference between them and Orton is a first-round pick while he's a walk-on, but look at me now. He said Orton will be standing across from someone at WrestleMania who hasn't been handed anything. He said he's going to tear the house down at WrestleMania because he is the phenomenal AJ Styles, and that was it. No Randy Orton here. He got a nice little quick interview in. Really didn't say much of anything. The most important thing about AJ Styles going into this week's episode of SmackDown Live is that he is now a WWE lifer. He re-signed for I don't know how many years, 3 or 5 years. They're handing out either 3 or 5 year contracts. I don't know what he signed. The details of his contract are not announced, but AJ has personally stated on social media that he is staying with the WWE and he's re-upped his contract. So there you go. Now we have the gauntlet match. Daniel Bryan and Erick Rowan come on out first. And I have to make mention of this because I would be doing a disservice if I did not. How awesome is Erick Rowan? The simple fact that Erick Rowan came out wearing a creator t-shirt is thumbs up in my book, man. I am officially a fan of Erick Rowan just based on his t-shirt tonight. And if you don't know who Creator is, maybe you should open up your music library and figure out what the fuck's going on. Seriously, go to Spotify. I got Spotify Premium. Go to Spotify and type in Creator and listen to their last album. Seriously, or any album. Any album that you got there from the latest to maybe the last 10 years, or over the span of the last 10 years. One of the, if not the best thrash metal bands, probably the best thrash metal band right now, but absolutely one of the most legendary thrash metal acts of all time. So to see that brought a smile to my face. Me and my guys, when we played music, heavily influenced by Creator. I got friends who are still playing music, heavily influenced by Creator. My brother Frank in Legionary, heavily influenced by Creator. I loved it. I thought it was fucking awesome. Bryan and Rowan stood in the ring. Said Kofi being in this gauntlet match is an injustice. Just like everybody watching Monday Night Raw and giving it a thumbs up show. It's an injustice. Thumbs down is the only way to go. Because Kofi Kingston does not deserve this opportunity, he says. So, typical heel shtick by Daniel Bryan. He says he knows better than anyone else what it's like to have the authority hold you down. He said it is not, he said it has not happened to Kofi despite the illusion he sold to the fans. He said Kofi was chosen to replace Mustafa Ali in the gauntlet match before the Elimination Chamber. He was handpicked out of the tag team division and just given an opportunity that he never earned. He said Kofi fought valiantly. Both times Kofi lost and he has earned nothing. Because Kofi Kingston, unlike me, is nothing but a B+ player. So, it's very bizarre. And it's kind of odd to see Daniel Bryan of 2018 wrestling Daniel Bryan of 2014. It's got the makings of a mirror-like image, you know? The authority holding him down, being told that he's a B+ player. Now Daniel Bryan is the one calling someone else a B+ player. He says that's okay for all the fans because for them, B+ is good enough. No. Yeah, well, he's right, but B+ is never good enough for me, man. If you ain't A+, you're doing it all wrong. He said maybe they should put that on a t-shirt and on the boxes of Bootios and pancakes and all kinds of other crap people don't need to buy. He said no matter how much they chant Kofi, it won't matter because Kofi will keep losing. He was interrupted by Big E, and out comes Kofi Kingston for the gauntlet match. Now, let me get this off my chest first, man, because I've been mentioning it throughout the show. And The Miz mentioned it in the beginning. We got AJ Styles mentioning it, we got Kevin Owens mentioning it, and then we got the visual of everybody just standing there in the back cheering Kofi Kingston on. From the Usos to the Hardys to Nikki Cross of all fucking people. It didn't come off as genuine. And the simple fact that we got these name drops of Kofi Kingston all throughout the show, it just seemed incredibly forced. Nothing about it was genuine. WWE wanted to push their agenda and their initiative, and I didn't really sit there wanting Kofi to win it. By the end of this thing, I was sitting there wanting Daniel Bryan to win the gauntlet match, or Daniel Bryan to beat Kofi Kingston at the end of the night. I most certainly thought Kofi Kingston was going to win the match tonight, until we got the final swerve at the end. But if Kofi was going to win this gauntlet match, which he did, and then WWE and Vince McMahon came out and swerved everybody, I was going with Daniel Bryan to win the WWE Championship match, and I was going to be on Daniel Bryan's side. Because the more that they do what they do, having everybody mention Kofi and then showing the full band support, they didn't do this with Daniel Bryan. The only thing that was there was the fans. It was genuine because of the fans. The fans were there cheering him on every single week. You didn't see anybody in the back come out and fucking overwhelmingly support Daniel Bryan. Nobody came out to celebrate with him. So the fact that they're doing this is making me feel that I don't even want Kofi Kingston in the main event anymore. And if he was there, to lose. It's forced, and it doesn't come off as genuine. Now, Kofi Kingston versus Sheamus was the first match. He beat Sheamus in 13 minutes. Not going to go over the match. It's a fucking gauntlet match. He beat Sheamus. Sheamus went for a bro kick. Kofi avoided it and then won with a victory roll. So he rolls up Sheamus, fluke fashion. They showed the Usos, Mustafa Ali, the Hardys, and the rest of the New Day with Nikki Cross jumping up and down like a fucking goon in the back, watching this on the big screen. So we go from Sheamus to Cesaro. This ended in 7 minutes. Cesaro went for the neutralizer. Kofi countered with his SOS for the win. So there you go. He beat both members of the Bar. There you go. Former tag team champions again fall back to back during a gauntlet match against a weakened Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe. This is where, I'm jumping ahead here. So he beats the Bar. And Sheamus and Cesaro are gone. We get Rowan, who's in this thing. This isn't even a match. Rowan, and I love this. Rowan was simply there because he's doing the bidding of Daniel Bryan. Now, Rowan was there. He didn't give a fuck about winning this thing. His man is the WWE champion. He was only there to ensure Daniel Bryan is on a road to WrestleMania that doesn't involve Kofi Kingston. Takes a steel chair, starts brutalizing Kofi Kingston with the steel chair, takes his body, lifts Kofi up off the ground, and chokeslams him through the television. Through the table. Television. I don't know why I thought television. Takes him and chokeslams him through the announce desk. So that was it. And at this point, I'm like, everything after this is just slowly becoming unbelievable. And I don't mean unbelievable in a positive, good way. I mean unbelievable in the worst way. Because at this point, with the beatdown that Rowan just gave him, and with I know who's left, Samoa Joe and Randy Orton, there's no way that Kofi Kingston, after what Rowan did to him, is going to amount to anything in this match. So, Kofi Kingston, after Rowan got himself disqualified because he didn't give a shit about winning this match, he's doing Daniel Bryan services. Kofi Kingston versus Samoa Joe. This match ended in 9 minutes. And did the United States Champion look good here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Samoa Joe was going for a fucking muscle buster. When the fuck did Samoa Joe ever go for a muscle buster on the main roster? I don't remember at all ever seeing that. But he decides to go for the muscle buster here tonight. Now, you can look at that in one of two ways. Number one, maybe he wanted to really incapacitate Kofi Kingston. Or number two, why the fuck is he using it now of all the times where he didn't even bother using it ever before? And the one time he does use it, it fucking backfires on him. He went for the muscle buster off the top rope. Kofi Kingston sunset flipped him for a leverage pin. And that was it. The United States champion, after Rowan beat the shit out of Kofi Kingston with a steel chair and chokeslammed him through the announce desk, the United States champion is now defeated. Defeated. The United States champion lost. Lost. Clean. At this point, I was done. Now, you might not think anything of it. Well, JD Joe, after the match, gave Kofi Kingston the coquina clutch, and he acted as if he is a true heel. He did the dastardly thing like a heel should do. He was upset and he attacked after the bell. But he is the United States fucking champion. I don't understand that. WWE, this is where they don't get creative. I hate when champions lose. This was easily fixable. This was an easy decision for WWE to go into this and say, you know what? We got the United States champion in this thing. We can't have him lose. He just won the title. So we'll make him look strong, but we won't pin him. How do you do that? How do you do that, folks? Simple. Samoa Joe applies the coquina clutch. He makes Kofi Kingston tap out. Samoa Joe doesn't let go of the hold, and the referee ends up reversing the decision back to Kofi Kingston because of Samoa Joe not really adhering to the referee's rules. Simple. You save Joe from being pinned, the United States champion, and the title will look okay at the end of the night. Instead, no, they have him rolled up. They have him rolled up after a muscle buster. Fucking ridiculous, man. At this point, I was done. Done. So Joe attacks Kofi Kingston after the match. Puts him in the coquina clutch. Randy Orton comes on out. After all that Kofi Kingston went through, how the fuck could he beat a fresh Randy Orton? Man, WWE did the unthinkable. Randy Orton lost to Kofi Kingston. So he lands the second rope DDT. Vintage Orton. I had nothing but Michael Cole fucking roaming around in my head. Vintage Orton. He hit the DDT. He started showing off. He went for the RKO pose. He pounded on the mat. Orton set up for the RKO. Kofi countered with a roll-up and a 3 count. Now, the thing with the roll-up was Randy Orton was rolled up by the rope. I swear to God, if you go back and watch, it looked like Randy Orton was about to reach for the rope, but didn't. Because he had that instinct like, oh, I could get out of this, let me reach for the rope. But maybe this was the overall plan, the original plan for this ending to this match, with Orton being pinned in that manner. But when you look back at it, Orton was so close to the fucking rope that I'm thinking to myself, this is Randy fucking Orton. 15, 16, 17, however many year veteran in Randy Orton, and he's by the rope, relatively fresh after 12 minutes, and he doesn't reach for the fucking rope? I don't understand it. My mind was fucking absolutely blasted at that point. I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. And my overall feeling of Kofi winning this match, and if he was portrayed in the most far-fetched, unbelievable way that I wanted Daniel Bryan in the end to beat him and just shatter everybody's fucking dreams, that was even more so after him beating Orton. 15, 16-year veteran in Randy Orton can't reach for the fucking rope to avoid the pin. That's how they have Randy Orton, who's going on to a marquee match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, lose. So not only Orton, but Joe lost in this gauntlet match. What happens after this, you say? Is Kofi going to WrestleMania? Of course not. Of course not. McMahon came out. First of all, Big E and Xavier Woods were celebrating. Now, McMahon came out, and he says that he wants to say what's on everybody's mind. Everyone all over the world. Kofi Kingston, congratulations. Kofi, you're going to WrestleMania as long as you can beat this one last opponent. He ordered Big E and Xavier to leave the premises immediately. Vince said that he wished Kofi Kingston luck. Now, I was thinking maybe a Sami Zayn or a Lars Sullivan or somebody. I don't know. Out comes Daniel Bryan. So the mistake I made actually ended up being legit. Daniel Bryan was a part of the gauntlet match. Look at me. I made a mistake and it ended up actually being something that happened on the show. There you go. Pat on the back for me. Daniel Bryan comes out. This was very quick. And Daniel Bryan wins here with the running knee. He wins with the running knee. And Daniel Bryan has stopped Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania dream. The B-plus player is forever in Kofi Kingston. Now, I want to get out of here. But I want you guys to understand one thing. What we watched for an hour was a complete waste of time. I am not sitting here enjoying the show as some fucking googly-eyed fan, okay? I'm watching the show to analyze it, to come here and analyze it for you guys. I'm coming here to watch it from a different set of eyes than the normal viewer. What I seen tonight was absolutely disgusting. Not only did former tag team champions take the pin, which I expected, not only did the United States champion take the fucking pin clean, but Randy Orton, in the most lamest, fucking ridiculous way possible, took a clean pinfall from Kofi Kingston. In the end, what did it mean? It meant absolutely nothing. It meant nothing to anybody. We had an hour of our life wasted. Truly, we had an hour of our life wasted on SmackDown Live. The WWE tried to do the gauntlet match thing again, and I honestly don't want to see another gauntlet match until next year's Elimination Chamber. They've outdone the idea. It is all over. The luster of the gauntlet match for 2018 is gone. You did it again to try and relive the glory of Kofi Kingston before the Elimination Chamber, and you fell flat on your fucking face. If you did it the first time, then you should have had Kofi go all the way to win the WWE title in the chamber, so you wouldn't have to be back in this point. You should have had him win the title then and had legitimate plans for Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. But you sat there because this fell into your fucking lap, and you said, you know what, we're going to go with this because we're too lazy to come up with anything else for the WWE Championship situation. I stand correct again. The title should have changed hands to the Elimination Chamber, and WWE did the gauntlet match here to try and relive and just try and force this upon everybody else, where the first one sounded and looked genuine, and this one just came off in the most unbelievable, far-fetched, ridiculous way possible that wasted our fucking time, and it wasted everybody else's time in that match. You had 5 guys who wasted their fucking time, champions who laid down to lose, and Kofi didn't end up winning at all because he lost to someone who wasn't advertised for the original match. Fucking ridiculous. You like your intelligence insulted? You want to be on this fucking lopsided, half-assed journey that is Kofi Kingston? WWE fucked everything about it tonight. You still may be interested in watching Kofi's journey. How's he going to get in there? The question marks may be looming. It might be a cliffhanger for next week. How does he get into WrestleMania? That's all great. I'm on another fucking level now. I'm at the level of, if he gets in, A, I don't care. And if he gets in, I hope he fucking loses. I hope he loses. Because what they did tonight was insult everybody watching. And that is something when I watch WWE, I don't want to have happen. And they did it tenfold tonight. Or in this case, sixfold. Everybody there wasted their fucking time. Fivefold. Everybody in that gauntlet match wasted their fucking time. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so very much for everything, man. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up. Very important. It's imperative to hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And make sure you guys go get your t-shirts. Bonfire.com. Always important. Bonfire.com. Link is down in the description of this very video. And if you missed them, everything that you might have missed on the channel Raw, you got Off the Script and Off the Script Extra uploaded today, talking about WrestleMania being 8 hours long and 17 matches deep, man. Thank you guys so very much for all your support. Again, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all for NXT. No NXT review tomorrow. I'm going to have some video game content for you guys. NXT will be on Thursday, and then I'll see you guys right back here on the channel for Off the Script episode 266. I'll talk to you guys later.